Hey guys, what's happening? What's happening? Thank you so much for joining the stream this evening here. For you guys, it's in the afternoon. All right, this is me, Ace, and I am excited. We are excited here at Ramen. Thank you so much for all your support. We've just crossed 5,000 likes on Facebook recently, and then now we're at 6,400, I believe, from little over we're less than 2 years old, and we are really, really grateful for all the support that you've shown us. So today, in this stream, I'm just going to be talking about what has transpired already in the first half of 2022. Many things, in fact, and then what we're going to be doing for the rest of the year. All right. So I'm going to start the ball rolling by first of all thanking everybody once again for the support for Ramen Toy, as well as our initial project of the 80s Commanders that has quickly uh, and exponentially grew to now us doing 80s Commanders in retro series, right? And this is all based on the feedback that I've gotten from all of you. Again, not discounting the original 80s Commanders. We will definitely be continuing to work on that range. And, but we have got to showcase the entire menu, or rather, more of Ramen Toys menu. So, I've gotten some questions recently on the Facebook where, some concerned collectors are asking exactly what is our direction. We're like doing the best of the 80s sort of thing, and there's no continuity. But that's far from the truth, because what we're doing is trying to introduce to you the various projects, the various genres that we are attempting, and then be able to get a fan following in that project. And once we are assured that there is, then we can go on to show the next project that we're doing while concurrently moving in tandem, right? So if you had noticed that after 80s Commanders, we shared Silverhawks, and then after that, we shared again 80s Commanders, but retro series, because now it's a different line, right? It's actually two different lines, guys, not to be confused. And I really hope there's no confusion, because it is primarily two different complete lines, right? 80s Commanders has always been something that we wanted to do with our vision and our take on it. But even if we had done it in 110 scale from the beginning, when we first shared how big it was, 7 inch, we would not have incorporated all the mechanical functions, because that was not the vision back then. The vision was to do a aesthetically pleasing figure that had the components that you add on, the weapons, but it just would not have any play function, so to speak. Right? You get my drift? So, in fact, in hindsight, it was a good thing, because if we had done 7 inches static, so to speak, because it's not moving, how would we then reconcile ourselves doing 7 inch now with the moving parts? Right? So in hindsight, it actually benefited us. And again, and as Steve Jobs, the late Steve Jobs mentioned, you can only connect the dots looking backwards. And now that I'm looking backwards, I can connect dots. And indeed, it was a blessing in disguise that we took the comments and the suggestions and moved the scale from 7 inch to 6 inch. And we can focus on the 6 inch collectors wanting the figure as they are, like that, without any function. Although some of you had actually wanted 6 inch with mechanism, but that's going to be a bit of a tall order, because the smaller something gets, the more difficult it is to have working stuff. Although it's not impossible, just that it's more difficult. So that being said, 6-inch for the Commanders. We did the first run thanks to all the backers who believed in us with just a simple prototype. Again, I mean, don't want to be beating the dead horse to death, but on the first initial run on the head sculpts, we never anticipated the figures to look like anybody because they were supposed to be 80s Commanders. So please understand where that direction was, and perhaps we did not pay enough attention on how a facial look would be like. But upon quickly, getting the feedback from you guys that, the faces should be better, and we agree. That's why we went ahead to resculpt and remake them. But to clarify the air, on some customers and collectors who said, we should have done this and totally eliminated the initial hits, but it could not be done because by that time we had already tooled the hits, right? And we had actually shown how the hits would look like all along the way of our development, right? We never purposefully concealed the face. We had always shown everything up front, whether it was a 3D model that's not painted to a 3D rendered with color to a test shot. The faces were always there, right? I guess until the stage where the actual faces were painted, that it became more apparent that they lacked some detail or other that wasn't too pleasing. That's when there were calls that the hits weren't very good. But again, like I mentioned, those were already tooled, and there was no way we're going to be like, okay, let's trash that and let's do something new. But indeed, we did do something new as the moment we got feedback, and we immediately went to work, so to speak, right? And that also was in tandem with the fact that some of you didn't like the original colors that we had envisioned them to be, and you wanted brighter colors. So we moved on to include the brighter colors in the 3-pack that we just released. Now, having said that, that meant that up till today, we have only released so-called one product. Even though it's 3, it's still one product. The original Commanders, and then a recolorization of the Commanders with new heads and helmets. But so thankfully, we are going to be releasing our second figure really soon, which was reviewed earlier in the day, well, some hours back by the Mad Hatter, and he did a review on our Quicksilver. So we are more than eager to put all these figures out to you to show that we're not just a one-trick pony, that we're not always just doing Commanders, recolorizing Commanders, and that's it. So we are, but it takes time. It takes time for a seed that's planted to grow and bear fruit. So that is exactly what we've done. From the moment we got traction from the first Commanders, we still needed more activity, and hence the 3-pack was done first. Otherwise, there would have been a void from when we released the figures in October, November last year till now. There would have been this void. So us releasing the 3-pack just a month ago was that filler, so to speak. And it also allowed new collectors to get acquainted with our brand, and people who missed out on the first run to get their hands on the figures. So I think it's a win-win situation at the end of the day, right? But again, like I said, the most important thing is that now we are going to be showing, basically shipping our second product, the Quicksilver, and then following very closely behind is the Monster. Okay, and then after Monster, we still have things in the pipeline that's churning out as we keep this ramen train rolling all the way. Okay, so that sort of basically concludes what I wanted to say as in the first part of the year, which was the 3-pack, the releasing of Quicksilver very soon. and Monster would actually take us into the second half of this year, right? With a release in end of July. So along the way, we have developed the Antagonist Cyborg, which is a part of the 80s Commanders 6-inch line. We have done the land drone as well, so that the Antagonist Cyborg has a companion to pair up with, and also the commanders can have enemy, so to speak, to be displayed together or against in your display and in your photography and so on and so forth, right? So that is the thing. Versus us, well, the first idea, to tell you the truth, is to develop other weapon systems for the commanders. But again, if we had spent the time there, then Antagonist Cyborg and Land Drone would be way behind in the background. So we decided to put that in the forefront first, and then we can go back to get some weapon systems out. Now, with that being said, that would mean that we will be still running another time the figures. But hear this, it will be sold as a figure separately. It will not come with the weapon system. And I think this was a question that was asked previously, and I couldn't back then give an absolute answer. But now that we have, sat down and really reviewed it, this is the decision. The subsequent weapon system that's going to accompany the 6-inch commanders would be sold separately without the figure, purely because you guys who own the 3-pack or the original might already want just the weapon system to exchange. You don't want to buy another figure that's inside, right? And for those of you who definitely want another figure to accompany your new weapon system, then you have the option of buying that as a separate standalone figure. Now, and even better news is that when we do this standalone figure, you will discover that there'll be even more improvements. I'm not trying to sound like Apple, right? This is like the best iPhone we've ever made. This is the best commander that we've ever made. No, but seriously, jokes aside, there is gonna be improvements, and that is what you'll get with ramen. The taste just keeps improving, right? You will see the improvements on the new commanders that's gonna be sold separately, but that is gonna be something that's gonna happen only next year, right? With we are basically, the orders, so to speak, for ramen is full for the remaining part of the year. We've got Retro Series Apache Commander coming up. We have the land drone, as I mentioned earlier, and the cyborg antagonist to be delivered. And then we are really squeezing in and trying to get that Machina first product out really before Christmas, we hope. But don't put my word on it. All right. Let me just grab a drink, right? Kind of parched. Let me just look at some of the comments and maybe we answer those first before going any further. Kato's Collection, welcome to the stream. Howdy to you. I see that Andre De Jong is in the house. Hello, Andre. Thank you there. Shalzi. What's up, Shalzi? Neil Hill, Neil Hill is a frequent commentator on our Facebook page. Welcome, Neil. Thanks a lot for all your comments. We need more Silverhawks, all of them. Okay, depends on what. Again, there's more to it than meets the eye. So I need to address this in a more, I guess, diplomatic way. You're waiting for Brave Star, isn't it? But we're doing the Marshall, so hopefully you can accept that. David, welcome to the stream. Excited about the Machina line, and I'm excited as well. And I believe if everything is fall into place, then I will have something very nice to show you guys come Friday. All right, we believe that we have gotten Red Gullwing to the point where it is ready for some red paint some lightning prints, and some early bird pre-orders. All right, so excited. Neil asked, will the mass figures have full range of motion or 5 points of articulation? Well, Neil, I've mentioned in the post that the figures would actually have 14 points of articulation. All right. A neck swivel, elbow, you can actually go this way and this way. So that's 2 points, right? 2 axis. Elbow that you can go, this way and bend. That's 2 points. There's not going to be any wrist swivel because it's just too small. You got a waist swivel. You got the groin, right? Moving the legs up and down, and you have the knees. That's 14 points. Yes, thanks, Shelzy. Paul, welcome to the stream. You are super excited for the MASK stuff. Hope that we guys would do StarCom, perhaps the unreleased Dual Fighter. Yeah, we will see how it goes, Paul. One step at a time. Immutable, is that right? Immutable, welcome, hello. Luke Reynolds says, "Hey Gary," and I think that's Gary there. Oh no, Gary's over here. Hey dude, thanks for joining the stream, Gary. Was a great strategic move allowing Mad Hatter to review the Quicksilver. Well, I'm not sure it was strategic. We just thought we would give Mr. Mad Hatter a review because he put out a video about 4 months ago on our pre-order image, and he expressed so much enthusiasm that I think it was just fitting that he should be given the first pre-production sample to have a look. Gap, thank you for taking a chance and recreating a mask line. We hope so, because we never know, would we? Until the cuisine is served, we never know how it would end up. So Kato's collection, the ways we keep the fans in the loop should be praised. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We are just doing our best. We are fans ourselves. If I was in another position, you would be here speaking to me, and I'll be praising you as well. So no problems there. Appreciate it. We have Master Sun 42. We guys are doing everything right, producing figures fast. Thank you, Master Sun. Thank you so much. And let's see what else we have here before I continue my stream talking to you guys. Whoa. Wow, there's a lot of comments. Okay. All right, so Neil talks about the Apache there. Okay, you guys can read the comments. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to just quickly skim through this. So Rodney talks about price. Okay, so see, we are definitely not here to impose unrealistic prices, but we would have to do our calculation properly in order for us to come up with a price for you guys. It's definitely between 100 and 200 for the vehicles. All right. It's not possible to go below 100 because of the sheer nature of it being a new tooling that we're investing in. And it will definitely not go above 200 because that would be ridiculous. So we're trying to keep it between here. We don't know for sure now because I've yet to finalize the prototype, and only when I finalize it can I do the costing and the factoring and do the costing, and we can come up with the actual figure, right? So wait for it. I'm really hopeful to get it as low as possible, and you know that you can always get the lowest possible price on the early bird pre-orders, where we do 30% off the actual SRP. All right, so I hope that I have answered your question for what it's worth, but definitely we will announce the actual price very soon once I get a handle on the final prototype. Adriano, any news for weapon systems? I think I just mentioned that recently. Okay, Fernando Ramos talking about new projects. Hold your horses there, Mark Wong. Thanks for the comment. Either way, Hector talks about see, the thing about this is that we had already planned it in such a way where the stand was always going to be included with Monstar as a bit of a bonus, right? The stand was tooled specifically for our figures, which can be sold separately, and we don't want to, how should I say it? It was never planned, right? It was never planned to have the stand with Quicksilver. Everything was already planned. There's certain things in the background that we had to do, and that meant that the stand would not be in Quicksilver. Meaning that because we're already shipping, we're going to be shipping Quicksilver really soon, right? And we have not actually finalized the stand. There's still tolerances to be adjusted. There's a feed pack, and there's a slot, and there's this gimmick, rather the claw that has some teeth. So that is being adjusted. Any last minute trying to put the stand into the Quicksilver man will mean that we're going to delay the Quicksilver until the stand is ready, which is going to be end of July when Monstar is ready. So for that reason, that's why I say everything is planned, right? And we had planned to just put it into the Monstar as a free gift. As we extrapolate that people who buy Quicksilver would buy Monstar, and hence they would get the stand. And the stand wouldn't fit Monstar anyway because it's too big. Okay, so I hope I explain it in an acceptable manner, but that's the way it is. All right, but thanks for the question. I want to just quickly ATIC. All right, let's see. It's going to get a Plastic Ocean Predator car. Okay. Okay. All right, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, ATIC, for the comment. I get what you mean. Thank you. So David is talking about Antagonist Cyborg in 110 scale. You see, first of all, we got to see what is the response for Apache Commander. We are still in the early bird phase for Apache Commander, and we have up to the end of June, which is very soon, to sort of show up and see what is the response, because our products are not like being taken by the bigger boys, and hence our reach is limited. And the real litmus test, truth be told, would be Apache Commander, right? If we don't see the orders for Apache Commander, then it would be very difficult for us to be doing an Antagonist Cyborg in 110 scale. So that is the truth of the matter, right? So only if we see the demand can we investigate into doing it? That is what I can say. All right. And I'm already having a dilemma because I don't want the products to be just resized, right? I would want to make it a little bit different again, so that it's not just like resizing it and then just selling it again. That's the way I think. But again, I will always sit down, relax, have a drink, think about it properly before we make any decisions, because anything that's on the fly without real thought is not wise. All right, David. Hopefully, I answered your question. All right, I need to like get on with what I'm going to say, but the comments are really coming in. Um, okay. All right, so I just missed all the comments here. Sorry, guys. So anyway, so let me get back to what I was going to say for the rest of the year. In fact, I was going to show you some of the stuff here. So right here, what I have is the prototype. Right, it's a painted prototype of the land drone. Okay. Again, this is a prototype. It's not even injected yet. It's just like recasted from our 3D print. So what I'm holding here is actually pretty fragile. So please pardon if something falls off along the way, right? But the main thing I want to show you guys is that we're going to be having two versions. All right. One version being what we had initially conceived, which is the all green, and the other version that has like the more animation colors. Again, these are not the final coloration. I am going to improve it further, but just to show you guys what we mean by the land drone. Okay, so first things first is the way it works. You simply push it out like that, and the nozzle comes out. Okay, there you go. All right, so the nozzle here, actually the front of it is machine brass. I'm not sure if you can see it properly here. Okay, it's actually a metal piece. It's machined. It's individually lathed out. Now the reason for this is because we had decided to change the design of the land drone to have this piece here, because initially it was a void, right? It was a void here, and you just close it down, and that's it. But I thought, well, what was the fun of that? What was the fun of that if we didn't have some function? So the idea of having a spring-loaded mechanism here, simple one, that allowed it to retract and then sort of fold in this way. And another idea that came to me was that if the land drone now turns it behind, he can start firing at the enemies behind, right? And all he needs to do is to turn his head the other way, right? And he can start to go, because the front or the back or the front is exactly the same. See, so the land drone has one look. See, the front and back is exactly the same. So just imagine him just turning 180 and just advancing wherever he wants. See, so there you go. And you will have articulation over here, right, like that, and right, obviously like this. Okay, and you can remove these parts here, and you can attach them to the legs. like so. Again, remove this here, attach it to the leg like so, right? And over here, this is actually the battery compartment. It holds a small battery. There's a light inside, so that's the switch void there. So it turns on the light, and then you can put on a blast effect on this arm here, and you can start blasting away. Again, how it works is that once he's in the opposite direction, he just turns his gun the other way, and he can start shooting the other side. All right. Articulation on the legs would be just one direction over here, like how a robot would, right? Instead of like swiveling here, the knee bends. I'm not bending it now because I've sort of tightened it, right? Otherwise, it was pretty loose. And then individual legs here, it all moves, and there's added detail on the feet, right? That has like some blaster effect where you can sort of lift off a little bit. So yeah, so that, guys, is the land drone. Okay. Of course, it will feature some stenciling, meaning that on the land drone itself will have some like danger, warning, caution signs, which is standard for both versions. And only the all green version will get the skull emblem on the chest, again on both sides, front and back, back and front. And on the shoulder here, it will feature the 21 Alpha, which is like a battalion number call sign. And yeah, for the version 80's color, I'm gonna improve it by making the centerpiece here the same as the lighter green, and we're gonna be painting the two sides here the darker green, and you'll have the stencils, of course, and then on this guy, as you can see, if you notice that the red here is not as metallic as this one, because again, animation colors, right? So it's more like the red that you see on the animation versus the metallic, right? So metallic is always like the more like real world, and the flatter, brighter colors is more for the animation style, version 80's. All right. So that, guys, is the land drone. I did not bring the antagonist cyborg with me because I was moving around, and at a point of time I didn't have it with me. But that was that. And I'd like to also show you the Monstar here, right? So this is the latest test shot that we did, where we really shirt up all the joints. It's nice and tight, right? You can see that it's all. You can hear the, right? Can you hear that? So it's all nice and tight, right? So the Monstar, right, all nice and tight, all big, ready to go, right? And so that is for what I can show you on screen right now, because I only have these samples. I wouldn't have anything from Machina yet. It is in the works, and I'm excited to bring the samples to you really soon as we can cook it up. And that starts with Red Gullwing. All right, Red Gullwing is looking good. We'll have the doors open, and for those of you who know the Red Gullwing, when the doors open, the height at which the door hangs above the car, we're going to shorten that height a little bit so that it looks more like the wings are bigger, right? It's sort of a optical illusion. If you have this, as you open the door, if you have that stub, that section there taller, the taller it gets, the shorter the wing or the door will look. If you get my drift, right? So we're going to shorten that. That's some of the changes that we're making. And we're going to really make this door look like a straight wing as compared to what was previously done, which has the curvature of the outside of the car that affected this, broadness of the wings, so to speak. And on the previous prototype, the afterburners weren't popping out, so that's been solved. So now when we release the back bumper, the spoiler comes up and the afterburners would protrude out where they should be. And again, unlike the original, where in the animation these afterburners are more of a rectangular shape, we will do it the rectangular shape versus a more roundish shape from back in the original. We are changing the tires, the wheels a little bit, because let's face it, the original doesn't look so handsome with 4 holes in a cross, right? So I took some liberty there to adjust the rims, but rest assured they're not the thin tires, not the big racing rims. They're the conventional rims. So that will be shown once I get the prototype on Friday. But again, on Friday it will not be painted. It will still be like in one color, and I will expedite getting that colored version in another 2 weeks. All right. Excuse me. And of course, the bomb bay. It has opening doors, right? At a push of a button, the bomb bay doors open, and magnetized bombs would dislodge from the bomb bay onto your tabletop or the floor, depending on where you have it. And you just simply insert it back by means of magnets. All right. We're going to have a look at the interior of the car to make sure that we give it as much detail as possible that would make what's the word I'm looking for? That would justify, a product in the 2020s. So detail there. And finally, most exciting is to have the 3-inch figure with those 14 points of articulation with the helmet, and it's going to look awesome. I really hope that all the vision that I have gets translated into actual plastic the way we want it to be. So that is for Red Gullwing, which will be in front of Great White, even though we shared images of Great White first. Now, Great White, the challenge was having the fins on the front extend out in the size and shape that it should. Now, we had some feedback about why don't we just have parts that magnetize onto the vehicle, including the periscope. But I think that defeats the whole purpose, because the whole premise of this line is that you don't have parts coming from nowhere to assemble. And that was always key. So from the earlier mention about how the rear fins were too small, it was because by the nature of how it should work, extending out from the wheels only had that much space for that fin. Now, if the fin was not extended out, but it was already there, then of course we can include a bigger fin. But again, it defeats the actual transformation of the vehicle, right? When the vehicle transforms, we don't see the fin already attached to the other side of the wheel as it comes out. We see the fin extended later after the wheels are extended and rotated. So that is why we are going, the trouble, or rather the pain of trying to make it work. Okay, so there is definitely gonna be a bit of giving up something for something else. If you want something, if you definitely want it, then you have to give up something else. So if you definitely want the fins to be that big, then you got to give up the transformation, meaning that it's not going to be transforming out as it is supposed to, right? If you want the fins to be that huge on the front of the car, then it might be a different way of doing it. And the reason why the fins cannot be as big as what the animation suggests it to be is physics, right? If you look at the car, the front of the car, and you think about the space that you're going to be storing the other front fins, and the rotation of the wheels, where is all these pieces coming from? Especially when they're not in the center of the car, they're on pretty much on the sides. So when you're looking at the actual side view, the profile, the cross section, and with all these things that I just mentioned, the front fins and all these things, where do you get the space for the other extending fins? So we have to make certain concession, but I think we have it figured out. So this would be our MK3. The Great White has already gone through the first MK1, the second MK2, which had the extending parts. The MK1 did not have the periscope that's working. MK2 had the periscope that's working, but it was reversed. We should have the function, the spring function, activating the part rather than retracting the part, right? So I told the engineers that, so we're doing it. And of course, I am telling them that we need to have that periscope bigger, more robust. So those are the changes that's going to be happening on MK3. So I think MK3 would be the final deal. All right, so just wait for that. And Porsche White, the figure has already been sculpted, as you guys saw. So that is the naming convention that we've given them. So hopefully that you would appreciate and like them. And by the way, Mats is like Scandinavian for Matt. If you guys can check it out. So he just got a last name Hawking. That's it. So hopefully that explains stuff. All right. That's it for Machina, and that should conclude our calendar for the remainder of 2022. As we, by the way, there's actually Easter eggs in this live stream. Not too sure if you guys can catch it, right? But there is Easter eggs in this live stream for upcoming projects. Anyway, getting back to what I was talking about. So that concludes it, and we have just recently reviewed the Marshall. Very excited. In fact, that received so many shares, likes, and views that was actually beyond my expectations. So thank you so much, all of you, for the response towards the Marshall. And the Marshall is definitely not going to be alone, for sure. All right. We're just going to make sure, we're just going to think about whether his companion is going to be in form A or form B, right? There are two forms. So we have to choose the one that works best. So again, continuation of all our projects would only take place with the support of everyone, for sure. Right? We're not going to be jumping from this to that to this to that and just doing like one. There is going to be continuation, and like any other continuation of waves, it all takes time. It all takes time for us to plant the seeds, nurture it, grow it, and that includes everything that we've done so far. You can be rest assured of that, and we will keep exploring new projects for sure. Okay, that's the whole goal. The whole goal is to keep extending this community, because not everybody is an 80s Commander fan. Not everybody is a Machina fan. Not everybody is a Marshall person. But as and when we start to showcase what we're going to be doing, then we start receiving the feedback from everybody, and then we start to add new collectors to the brand, and that's how the brand will grow from 1,000 likes when we started last year to 5,000 earlier this month to 6,000 now. Let's get to 10,000 likes for our Facebook page. All right, I'll be so happy. And of course, thanks to everybody. Right, so that's pretty much what I wanted to say in this live chat update live stream thing. And rest assured, we are working our best to keep improving everything. The feedback given from Mad Hatter reviews on the Quicksilver, we have taken into consideration, and we are working on how we're gonna, move the neck back better next time, point the feet down more. As I mentioned in the comment that I left on the channel of Mad Hatter regarding these two particular points, is that if we were to move the head back, we would require a joint, and that joint would break up the shape of the neck design that we've done. It's really a balance between keeping the shape of the design and breaking it up so that it can move. Again, the pointers also made on the very limited articulation on our ab crunch and all these things, and waist swivel, simply because if we had done anything more, it would have to be like cut it. I mean, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? To have an ab crunch that really bends forward, this whole part needs to move down, which means it's going to be that kind of a cut, and that kind of a cut on the very nice design of the chest plates and the ab of Quicksilver, when we decided to do it, would be detrimental to the design. So we could not afford that kind of a range. And if the range with the same cut had to be more, that means that the upper body have to have more space. That means this whole part here is going to be more airy, and you're going to see more gaps, right? And then we can actually move it with the stomach area being smaller, and the solar plexus area being much bigger, so that there is movement, and it's all physics, right? And when that happens, then there might be a complaint that it looks weird because now the top. Anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent, but we are definitely looking always. We're learning every day, right? And every figure is different. There is no one concept for everything. Every figure is designed differently, and therefore articulation points are implemented differently. And let me show you the so if I could just share John Thunder's, did I just say that? Sorry, Apache Commander. All right. Okay, the articulation on the feet here, so you can see this is basically 7 inch, and you know we've gone through this a lot of times, and we can actually have double jointed right there. See, so it's all in the plans. It's all we are learning. We are definitely improving, and you know with all the feedback and stuff, we're always kaizening. That's what I can say. All right. So that is that in terms of constructive criticisms, which will thank you so much. We are definitely taking it in. And yeah, with it's only with all this and with the enthusiasm that we can keep on bettering the products. All right, guys. So that concludes right up to the Marshall. We are pretty much there. And then I just recently shared another weapon system for Ace McLeod, because this weapon system is going to be the 7 inch, is going to match exactly to the original Kenner figure that you already have. All right. It won't come with any figure of our own because we have not gotten to the stage of making another new figure, which again, I emphasize, requires much resources uh, to tool and or develop and tool. So one step at a time, right? One step at a time. But at least let us give you what you have been craving for, because you guys don't have. It was an unreleased piece, right, from Canon. So yeah, that is up to what we have at the moment in the kitchen cooking. And again, once we start stepping into second half of the year, July, start stepping into the third quarter, the fourth quarter, for sure, there's much more that's coming up, and we will share all the developments and new projects along the way on the Facebook page as always. All right. So again, like the page, share it with your friends. We need all the support we can get because we are limited in terms of a reach. It's through the Facebook, through the website that we get all the support. And then let's do this, guys. Let's do this, and let's get more of the stuff out before time runs out. All right. So let me get to the comments. I'm gonna just start from the back here because I think I'm way behind. Derek, thanks for joining, my friend. Will Apache Commander be made in the non-retro? Yes, we have already addressed this. It's in our vision, it's in our plan to have everything done in 6 inch. But as much as possible, we don't want to just duplicate something and just size it down. But we'll see how it goes, right? We want to input something more. Philippe is talking about cops. Riot Press. Patrick, well, thanks for joining the stream, Patrick. Good to have Patrick here. Let's talk. Neil talk about some other properties. Hey, Tom from Action Figure Captures. Thanks so much, a friend of the brand. Okay, maybe I shouldn't be going this direction. It might screw things up. Anyway, let's see. So now I'm gonna be just going through your comments and see if there's any questions that I should answer. Right. Let's see. So let me now focus on that. So I am going to. Okay. I think I'm pretty much. Pretty much is from here. Okay, so I'm going to start with Thomas O'Mahony. So please continue with what you're passionate about. It shows in the product. Thanks, Thomas. Definitely, definitely. Okay, TM reviews. Think of a new friend of the channel. We might be collaborating with TM reviews on certain product reviews. All right, thanks a lot for dropping us a note and getting connected. Dennison, you always get the best products when it's designed by actual fans. Thanks a lot. Well, we're not saying we're the best. We're doing our best, that's for sure. All right. Yeah, three YouTubers here, three other tubers here. That's good. That's good. Okay. Fernando Ramos. Um Galaxy Rangers. Okay, we will consider that, Fernando. Again, perhaps I wasn't exposed to Galaxy Rangers as a kid, so I can't really relate. And if I can't relate, as I mentioned before, it's tough to come up with something that is top notch. So David Carpenter, all right, Mr. Sky Commanders, me too. But again, I've only had just one Sky Commander as a kid, so Sarah Vanan, Rhino and Switchblade. Wow, you have big ambitions. Neil Hill talks about early bird. Okay. Rodney acknowledges something there. Okay. We have Neil here. Yeah, we talked about the stand already. JC Gardado, right? Gardado, JC Gardado. And then Myra, thank you so much. It's all kudos to the sculptors and engineers that we're working with. I'm not sure about Cops because, again, I've not been acquainted with the series as a kid, but we'll look into it. Hey, Julian is here. Um, they are hopeful for Red Landro. Maybe too soon. Maybe too soon. Ben Davidson talks about definitely getting on board with the Makina line. Visionaries. Um, well, all I can say to that, my friend, is again, I might get roasted here. So all I can say to that is that we're looking into hologram. All right. So that's all I can say about that. Okay. Phil Colson. Yes, the separate head and helmets pack have been shipped. Again, the way we do things is that we've engaged somebody to help us to dispatch everything. We have two teams. One is based in Singapore and one is in China, obviously. And at certain times, certain countries, it's somehow a bit more expensive to dispatch from China, such that we have to do it from Singapore. So a section of the orders would have to first go from China to Singapore, hence maybe some delay, and then from Singapore it gets dispatched out. So please understand the logistical constraints that we have, but we're definitely doing our best to push out everything as and when we get it as soon as possible. All right. Yes, we ship worldwide. Jorgen, right? Got that name right. Um, if we get a chance to do the characters, we have already planned for a lady and a kid. So, all right, cops over there. Right. So everything that we're doing now is on a made to order size. And from our very first run to the second to the current run and everything, it's always been around 1,000 pieces. Okay, we have yet to break through in terms of quantity, so we're keeping it like close to the community now, and that is pretty much the size we're looking at. So yeah, that's what it is. Because I think this is always the dilemma here. If something is in demand and we have sold out and we don't do it again, because most of the time the surplus demand is not enough to render another new production run, right? So that is the thing here. So the solution: order early, tell your retailers that you want it, ask them to bring it in, because that helps, right? If a retailer in your country brings in our figures, it would definitely save you a lot of shipping fees as compared to shipping one from directly from us to you. All right. So the more stock that can go via distributors and retailers, the better it is for the end customer. And that's what is our end goal as well. We don't want you to be paying, so much more for shipping just to get your figures. But at the same time, we must recognize that if there's not enough people carrying our line and it has to be bought from us directly, and that this is the only way. And we are definitely working with the couriers to offer the best possible price with the best possible service. As you can see, we are offering, like DHL, FedEx services at more than airmail prices, but it actually gets to you faster, right? And we are guys, we're still in the middle of a global logistics conundrum, right? There's still not It's still not business as usual in terms of, you know, uh, post office and airmail getting their routine delivery schedules. So that's why we reverted to, or rather not revert, but we opted to have, DHL, FedEx, because we just couldn't risk having the product sent to you and it doesn't get to you and we don't have like tracking, right? Even if the post office gives us a tracking number, it's not reliable. It's not like you can really check it and call, them up and they give you a response. Most of the time it's always, yes, we are looking into it, let us revert. That's all. That's what the post office will say, even if you have a tracking number. Anyway, I digress. It's supposed to be on a run size, and the answer would be get your retailers um, informed, and then if we can do a one-time run which caters to all, that'll be the best. All right. Yeah, David Clark. Brian, when is the Red Gull Wing coming out? As I mentioned earlier, we hope to do it before Christmas or by Christmas. Yeah, amazing land drone. Rodrigo, is there a difference? They were buying Quicksilver via Ramen website and BBTS. Um, Now, I've actually not officially announced the stand yet, because the stand, as I mentioned earlier in the stream, is not something that is like good to go. So I've not mentioned it yet. So the moment I get confirmation that the stand is good to go, I will make that announcement that the stand would be included with our monster. So that is the difference. Hopefully I'm clear. Yes, that's right. Right, I'm just running through all your comments here to find any questions that I should be answering. All right. So Dean, thanks for that nice comment. Steve Perry talks about another property. Yes, the beast. Um, okay. All right. So quickly running through the comments here, trying to see if there's any questions that I will be able to answer. Hmm. Hmm. Well, that's a lot of requests. That's a lot of requests. Yes. So yeah, definitely Mark II. Definitely. The first one that we showed had things that were not yet mature enough. So a Mark II. We will reveal that this Friday. Okay, so these are all comments, not really questions. I'm looking for any questions that might be needing an answer. The Transformers collector community, parts forming. Not sure what that means. Yes, Alexander, thank you for the acknowledgement. And that's what we do. We go the extra mile whenever we can. Uh, well, we are starting with Red Gullwing and Great White. And I mean, seriously, if we're gonna carry on, then we're gonna look at how we're gonna improve the others, because we're not in the business of just copying and paste, right? Copying and reproduce. We're not doing that. We are If we're gonna be doing something, it's gonna be ramen's taste. It's gonna be thought put in, and it's got to be worth it. It's got the changes has got to make sense, dollars and cents, right? Otherwise, so I will hold off that answering this because I don't have a clue myself, right? So yeah, so we will talk about the Silverhawks once it's released. All right, let's put him out first. Let's put Monster. Let's put him and Monster in the hands of you guys first, and then we can talk about the rest. All right. We'll make it as animated as possible. Okay. Um, to be really realistic, the only one that's gonna we're really gunning for by Christmas is Red Gullwing, because we are already in a very mature stage of its development, and tooling would not be an issue. Um, the difficult part was getting all the transformation, and that is the phase that we've already cleared that hurdle. But for Great White, we're still working on it. So right now we're already in July, and to push Great White for end of the year is a real difficult task. So the best we can hope for is first quarter of next year. I mean, I'm not here to give you anything other than the whole facts and the truth, right? There's no point for me to say, hey, yeah, no problem, we'll get it to you in November. And then come November, we'll do it in December. Come December, I'll say January. Come January, I'll say it's February. No, we're not into that, right? We'll give you a date and then we'll stick to it. Okay. And on that part, not to contradict myself, Quicksilver, we initially said April, right? So April, May, June. And that was because in April, I mentioned there was a lockdown imposed in my area, such that the factories were inaccessible, and that kind of snowballed to May. And in May, there was further corrections to the tooling to tighten certain things that I was not happy with. So that resulted in the final delay to end of June, right? So that explains. Okay, that was really something that started from something that we couldn't control, right? The lockdown, and that snowballed. The lost time there snowballed, and that was it. Wow. Tom Payson talks about the Easter egg. Okay, so yeah, that's Motu in the back. I collect Motu, but wow, you guys are really good. Okay, yes, we need to grow the seeds. All right. Running through the comments for any questions before we sort of call it a day. It's like been an hour, yeah. Well, all this makes a good point, right? Makes a good point. Now, I have a say in this, okay? And this is just my opinion, all right? So for years, the licensors have been doing business in a way that if you don't show them enough money, then you're not going to be doing the license. Which is why the birth of third-party companies. Because there's no way Hasbro and Takara was going to give anybody the Transformers license unless you make Transformers statues that don't transform, or you make figures that don't transform. Then of course you can have a Transformers license. You can even make shirts. Sure, right? You can license anything of Transformers, cups, mugs, slippers, bed sheets, water pistols. You can do anything with license, but not transforming toys. You can even do model kits, just not transforming toys, right? And I've been in the game. I tried doing Transformers statues, and at the end of the day, the collector would not buy a Transformer that doesn't transform. So I think I'll take it as it comes, right? If there is a cease and desist, then we'll go from there. All right. But as long as there's no cease and desist, we are continuing the train, the ramen train, and hope that the journey will be a very fun, exciting, and safe one for everybody. Because we are by no means trying to circumvent anything. We'll be happy if licenses reached out to us like Super 7 did, because initially ramen is all about third party products. Clear and simple, right? I'm telling this to you live on the stream right now, and I'll tell it to anybody who asks me the same question. It's always been going to be third party. Silverhawks was also meant to be called something else, right? But Super 7 reached out to us like middle of last year and offered us that, hey, if you want to be doing this, why don't you do it with a license? And that's great, right? So if we can get the license owners attentive to what we're doing, and if they can reach out to us, again, I'm not trying to sound pompous or arrogant that, oh, why should the licensor reach out to us? We should be the one reaching out to them. But the truth of the matter is this: if we reach out to them, if they are reachable, because some license are not exactly like readily reachable. They are in the 80s, right? We're doing 80s properties, right? So if we do reach out to them, I've been there before, and it's the whole 9 yards again. Please share with us your company's history. Please share with us your distribution channels. Name who are your distributors. Give us a sales projection. So, for example, I'm going to give a projection because now we've actually done 2 runs. In fact, 3, 4, Monster included. So I'll be projecting to the licensor, we're going to be selling 1,000 units at this price. So they do the math, right? So 1,000 units at this price, it's not enough, right? It's not enough. So either you sell it more expensive so that it meets this price that we need to grant you the license, or you sell more. Now, if we can only sell 1,000 units, we can't sell more, then what do we do? Do we make 5,000, 10,000 to satisfy the license, and then we clear out the rest once we can't sell it at a massive discount because we need to liquidity. We need to be liquid, right? And then we piss off the people that buy the product at the actual price. Because that's what happened in business. The moment you can't sell something, you need to discount it, right? So we make 1,000, which was what we have done, and that caters to the current demand. If there's a license in place and the license requires us to do X amount, and we do it for the sake of the license, and we can't sell it, off you go, discount, because we need our money back, right? Doesn't sound too good, isn't it? But that is the actual facts of licensing. And I'm not talking out of my backside because I have been in the licensing business, as I mentioned before, right? So I know about the licensing business, and I know when I cannot license something. Either I don't license it and don't do it, and we won't be having this conversation right now. We won't be having this live stream right now. There'll be nothing to show. Or we do it and hope that the people who thinks that they own what we're doing would be able to come to us and say, hey, why don't we do it this way? And let's discuss. And that should be the way things are. Because, otherwise, give us a cease and desist and let's just stop everything. Would you want that? Would the 6,000 people who's liking ramen now just be happy with a cease and desist and we just call it a day? So that is my answer to all this. I hope that is a comprehensive answer, and hope that you guys will receive my answer in the correct way, which I intended it to be, and not me sounding arrogant and highfalutin and pompous. Who is this guy? You expect Hasbro to reach out to you No, I'm not meaning it that way, right? Because if I reach out to Hasbro, for example, they wouldn't care 2 cents about me. All right, that's what I'm saying. Unless I show them, show me the money, right? So there you go, guys. Next one. All right, next one. Yes, Saber Riders is licensed by Bandai Japan, and there's also a Bandai US. Okay, in fact, there's a Bandai Europe segment. So, touching on licensing, if I may, all right, any major license would have a presence in that territory. So, if, for example, if you have Bandai Japan, you also have Bandai Asia, Bandai US, and Bandai in Europe, if I'm not mistaken, because I was in Nuremberg a few times and I did see Bandai's presence in the licensing department there. So there is a presence that they have representatives in that country. Hence, I would say Europe, because there's also Bandai in the US when they represented themselves in the Las Vegas licensing show. All right, so it's all there. Every major company that have properties, they have their offices around the world, regional offices. So if, for example, we want to talk Hasbro in Singapore, we go to Hong Kong, or there's a Singapore office as well. I forgot which one, but definitely there's a Hong Kong office for Hasbro, meaning that I don't need to talk to the US side to get me a license. I can talk directly to the Hong Kong office, which was what I did before. Okay. Even if I had gone to the States and spoke to Hasbro in the US, if my territory is Asia, they would direct me back to the office in Hong Kong for the license. And at some cases, even not Hasbro directly, but through the licensing agent, which back in the day was MediaLink when I was licensing Transformers Age of Extinction, right? I had to go through the licensing agent and not Hasbro directly. So that again, off tangent, but that's just some information. Okay, quickly running through the other comments here. Looking for some questions. Wow, many Galaxy Rangers fans. Amazing. Top. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm just like running through the comments here, looking for any potential questions. And I think I'm way behind on comments. I think I've gone through that, Dale, on the price range. Of course, we will make it as affordable as possible. So this is a question: will we be accepting payment via PayPal? I believe we can. I think my guys are working on the payments. You can drop us an email at 80scommander@gmail.com, or go to our website and drop a question. We will get back to you. All right. Interestingly, there is like a renewal to SWAT Cats. If you check out Google SWAT Cats, there is like a renewal that's coming up again. So that is something that they are, I don't know. Eric talks about Dino Riders. Um, I can't answer that right now, Eric. Sorry about that. Jean Philippe, thank you so much for that kind comment. And it's nice to have dreams come true because you know, as a kid, not every dream that we had came true. And as some people say, if we can't dream it, we make our dreams, right? So, O ring. Okay, so I'm really far behind. Ben's collectibles. Really enjoy these live chats. I didn't jump on the commander's line, but you have me with Machina and that Apache commander in the original skill is on point. You see, some people like the original skill. Great, thanks, Ben. Appreciate it. I think Storm Collectibles is doing a great job on the Battle of the Planets Gacha Man. See, I never really had Dino Riders as a kid. Another another negative or rather not so positive news. That's great. That's great. Please recommend to your retailers. We only grow as a community, right? Everything grows as a community. Yes. Thank you, Jean Philippe. So Gary, a Big Bad Toy Store only carried our Quicksilver and Monster because it's licensed. That's all I can say. Okay, guys, speaking in French. William Hoover. I came in late to the video, so I'm asking those who were here. Has he said, or if he plans to do the rest of the original commanders? I think you'll get your answers right, which is yes. Raphael, thank you for your time as well. Um, from French there. Raphael, you didn't miss anything. We are gonna make sure that we get the first two out first before we look at the rest. Jason, I've also mentioned that. Let's get the first seats out and see how it grows. All right. As a third-party Transformers guy, I can't tell you how thrilled I am to see you guys taking on this other nostalgia. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Todd, thank you, Todd, for joining the stream and for your comment and for your input. We appreciate it. Ah, that's great. Coming out from the Riot Press from Patrick. Yeah, I mean, there is definitely plans all drawn up for the rest of the team, but we need to tread as per the path that's given to us. That's all I can say. Before Chinese New Year, for Makina, definitely. Yes, request for Bionic 6 as well. Need to look into that. So Derek, I've mentioned the pricing just now. Keeping it as low as possible, but realistic as possible. Realistic means it's gonna be more than 100 US. Yes, With explanation, things are explained, isn't it? Right? That's why I say I don't talk shit. You get it all facts, because there's no time. There's no time, guys, to talk shit, right? There's only time to do proper work and to get proper things out to proper collectors who want stuff. I believe that it would have been more challenging if BBTS didn't come on board to help us to distribute. Because, truth be told, the numbers for Quicksilver and Monster, if you minus BBTS order, is actually much less than we had anticipated. That that is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, right? And if any of you may think that I'm just saying that because I'm just saying that, no, I'm not just saying that, because that is exactly what it is. I'm looking at you right in the eye, even though you are across the camera, right? The eyes don't lie. It's what it is. And everything happens for a reason. Had this not been officially licensed and BBTS taking what they have ordered, then we would have actually suffered a setback in terms of our ambition, thinking that thinking that this is what we can have in terms of the support. So again, everything happens for a reason. And looking back, that reason is that we got it licensed, and hence we're able to meet this quantity that we have actually produced, which is about 1,000. All right. Well, Canna is not dead. It's just that they're not producing stuff. So, okay, so there's a lot of French there, which I don't know. Sounds like they are content to just sit on license rather than take a time and effort to try and do something with it to meet. See, I don't want to go too deep into what the licensor is thinking, because I definitely don't know what they're thinking. But your thought that they're sitting on a license is merely from your perspective. And I guess from a business point of view, since there is no ongoing animation, no ongoing cartoon, no movie, nothing to support the brand, no one in his right mind would do something and invest money and resources to come up with products that nothing is supported. And that is the true nature of the business, right? If there is no Top Gun Maverick movie, my Caliber Wings models wouldn't be selling, right? Because of the movie, there's all of a sudden, my planes are selling, and that's just the way it is, right? And we do this not because of the money. The money is just a end result that happens to come from our main goal, which is just to make the best things that we can make of what we love. And that's it. All right. So I wouldn't go as far as to say what Todd has just mentioned, although I'm not disagreeing, but I'm not like trying to add fuel to any fire. But I'm just trying to explain to you that what's happening now, or has been happening, happens for a reason. And the reason is that there is no new media to support making this into like figures and stuff. And that's what it is. Hopefully I gave some input that further gives thought to what you've mentioned. Nah, no, don't say that. Don't say that. Thanks, Ivan. Thanks, Ivan. Okay, so I'm like really far behind on the comments. I got to really. So Brian, have I missed your answers about the timeline? No, you may have missed, but I repeated that it's gonna be before Christmas for Gullwing and first quarter for Great White. Wow. You know what? We actually send them a request. Again, I don't say things I can't back up. Let's see. Where would I have uh, proof of this? Let's see. Need to think. Need to think. Um, if I'm thinking properly, if I'm thinking properly, it might be. It might be. Uh, Maybe I'll share this next time when I find it because it's like embedded in my archives of screenshots. But Nikhil, is that your name, right? If I pronounce it correctly, mark my words. On this day, I mentioned this, and I will give proof of what I have just talked about. Have you ever watched Sectors? I've heard about it, but I've not watched it, my friend. Okay, so as much as I would want to bask in your passion for this, I would have to learn it and not automatically have like, oh, exactly, I knew what you're talking about because I need to really learn about it first. Yes, go Google Storm Collectibles. In fact, it's on BBTS. If you just go over there and in fact just Google and go to Storm Collectibles website, you can see a very nice figure that they've done that's coming soon. There you go. Yeah, lots of stuff to do. Okay, so that's just some comments there. Adriano, we are doing Strato Strike for Ace McCloud. Exactly. So there you go. Hans, Jacob, Jacob or Jacob, just joining. Uh, Dino Sauces. Wow, that is totally different. I gotta check it out because I've heard of Dino Riders and all these sectors, but not Dino Sauces. Let's check it out. Hey, Gary's in the house. So Gary is helping us out with some artwork, and I believe you can see his work also credited on the Silverhawks Quicksilver packaging as well as the Monstar packaging that is coming out really soon. So yeah, really a talented guy, Gary, and we are really happy and honored that Gary reached out to us to offer his assistance, and it's been a win-win. All right, we hope to have that long, a long working relation for many more projects to come. So Jason, Pre-orders for Red Gull Wing I anticipate to be in the month of July. Again, once I get the final prototype that's good to go, I will get them to color it, and I'm looking at 2 weeks to color it, because they need to duplicate the parts, not just coloring, right? You don't take 2 weeks to color something, right? You need to duplicate the parts and then color, assemble. That's going to be like mid-July, and once I have that, I can start the pre-orders. So looking at July. So once we, how it works is that in July, that's the 7th month, right? We will be able to start tooling in August and finish up the tooling by September, and it takes us October and November to finish the production. That's why I said before Christmas. Okay, so that if everything goes fine, that's the deal. Hey, Luke Wickford, welcome to the stream, Luke. Good to have a familiar face join us as well. Okay, I'm going to have to recall which one that was, if I've already answered with artwork. All right. Joshua talks about Dino Riders again. Yeah, I need to think about it. All right, and just like that, we have reached the end of the comments, and we have been online for the past almost hour, 47 minutes, 50 minutes. I hope that this stream gave more information, more rapport building between myself and you guys. Again, the request from us is that you share our work, get more retailers on board, and the only way to get these into physical figures and stuff to you guys is through the support and the share. That's all we need. Support and share, and Early Bird will always give you guys the 30% off the suggested retail price. And the reason for the retail price is because distributors need to have that discount, and that discount needs to make sense for us. Otherwise, it's not going to help fund the next project. Okay, and for any of you who are more meticulous and can actually do the math, right, you can actually see how much dough we are actually pumping in right now in terms of the tooling and all these development, and with only what we have physically sold and delivered so far, where is all this dough coming from, right? So it needs to be one after the other. The farmer needs to sow the seeds, reap the harvest, make the sale, get more seeds, sow it again, but unlike the farmer who is always doing the same crop, this farmer is expanding the crop range, right? This ramen is serving up more than just tonkotsu, shoyu, and what's the other one? Miso, right? It's more. There's more taste to it. Very much 80s taste with a twist of what you want. And yeah, so guys, maybe last comment here before we log off. Thank you for everything you do and live streams, and there'll be more to come, right? As long as I'm back from the work and there's some time, and I will probably choose a time that's conducive for all of you to do this, right? So yeah, so with that, I got to get back to actually my Mondo He-Man pre-order. I've always forgot about that. Thanks, guys. And we will be in touch on Facebook, and I'll see you guys in the next live stream. Take it easy, take care, and see you soon.